Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. A powerful earthquake hit western Japan on Monday, triggering tsunami warnings and evacuation orders in several prefectures. Ibu Pertiwi, Flagpole earns Malaysia Book of Records recognition as Southeast Asia's tallest. Speculation on Dubai move, a waste of time, said Premier Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. A powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit central Japan, leading to the issuance of a tsunami warning, as authorities have advised residents in the affected regions to move to a higher ground. The Hawaii-based Pacific Tsunami Warning Center stated that tsunami waves with the potential for danger were likely within a 300-kilometer or 190-mile radius of the earthquake's epicenter along the coast of Japan.
Wajima City in Ishikawa Prefecture experienced a confirmed tsunami of 1.2 meters. However, a significantly larger tsunami, measuring 5 meters, was anticipated to reach Noto in the same region. At the same time, the Japan Meteorological Agency, or JMA, also stated that the Noto region, situated on the Sea of Japan side of Japan's main island of Honshu, underwent a series of rapid successive earthquakes with a 5.7 magnitude. The situation also prompted the Japanese government to close down numerous major highways in the vicinity of central Japan, and Shinkansen bullet train services were also suspended between Tokyo and the epicenter in the Noto region. Meanwhile, local utilities reported that approximately 33,500 households in central Japan were without power. The affected areas included the Toyama, Ishikawa, and Niigata prefectures. The nation is haunted by the recollection of a colossal 9.0 magnitude undersea quake off northeastern Japan in March 2011. This seismic event triggered a devastating tsunami that resulted in approximately 18,500 people being reported as either dead or missing.
Sarawak adopts the name Ibu Pertiwi for its flag, aligning with the state anthem. Premier Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg declared this during the inauguration of the state's new iconic 99-meter flagpole.
Bendera kita ada nama. Bendera tanpa nama. Kalau Malaysia adalah jalur gemilang. Mana kata nah jalur gemilang. Nama bendera kita malam ini ialah kita umumkan namanya Ibu Pertiwi. That is our motherland. Dan kawasan kompleksnya, kerana bukan sebarang tempat saja. Ini adalah kompleksnya. Namanya ialah Dataran Ibu Pertiwi. Dan tiangnya sudah tentu tiang Ibu Pertiwi. Ibu Pertiwi is our motherland, we have to protect. Ibu Pertiwi membawa kedaulatan kepada Sarawak. Sovereignty. Ibu Pertiwi juga memberi bayangan kehebatan negeri Sarawak dengan warna merah, hitam dan kuning.
He spoke during the New Year's Countdown Celebration 2024 held at Kuching Waterfront. Additionally, Abang Johari clarified that the flagpole was financed fully by the three major oil and gas players, which are Petroleum Sarawak Berhad, Petros, Petroleum Nasional Berhad, Petronas, and Shell Malaysia.
Sebenarnya ialah menjadi ikon kepada kita. Dan ia tidak membabitkan wang kerjaan. Saya mengucap terima kasih kepada 3 syarikat yang membiayai tiang bendera kita ataupun dataran kita. Yang pertama ialah syarikat minyak kita sendiri, Petros, yang menyumbang kepada ke harga kos ini. Yang keduanya, Petronas, yang juga menyumbang kepada kos pembiayaan projek ini. Yang ketiganya, syarikat Shell juga memberikan sumbangan kepada kos ini. Bermakna 3 syarikat minyak menyumbangkan di bawah CSR mereka.
The Ibu Pertiwi flagpole weighs more than 120 metric tons, topped with a flag measuring 25 meters in diameter and 12.5 meters in length that was erected since June 17th. It is currently the tallest flagpole in Southeast Asia.
And with that, Sarawak now hold the title of the tallest flagpole in Southeast Asia. The newly launched flagpole stands at 99.4 meter, made it into the Malaysia Book of Records. Premier Sarawak Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said that the iconic landmark, funded by 3 oil and gas companies, namely Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros, Petroleum National Berhad Petronas, and Shell, adds value to the tourist attraction in the Fort Margherita area. In this regard, he said that the history of Sarawak's economic development will also be showcased in the area, along with some historical background of the state.
Oleh sebab itu, dalam transition ekonomi ini, kita juga nak mempamerkan sejarah pembangunan ekonomi Sarawak. Sebab itu, projek ini dibiayai oleh syarikat Petros, Petronas dan juga pihak Shell. Dan kita akan, kerana belum siap lagi, kita ada sejarah 3 syarikat yang kita letak di sana. Apa yang penting impaknya? Impaknya ialah menjadi satu dataran di mana para pelancong boleh mengambil gambar dan juga sedikit sebanyak membaca sejarah latar belakang kita dari sudut pembangunan ekonomi.
He said this to reporters during a press conference after a walkabout session at the flagpole site in Kuching today. The Premier also witnessed the presentation of the certification by Edwin Yo from MBOR to State Secretary Dato' Ahmar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki. He added that previously Fort Margherita was the only attraction in Kuching that was designated as a heritage building. Abang Johari revealed it was part of the state's tourism infrastructure with amenities including an English tea house. On the flagpole's height, Abang Johari disclosed it was inspired by the 9-pillar design of the Sarawak Legislative Assembly building and the 9-pointed star on the state flag.
Premier Sarawak Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg has dismissed speculation on the purported Dubai move to topple the unity government as a waste of time, asserting that the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS remains uninterested in partaking in any political maneuvering. He said he has no knowledge of the Dubai move, an alleged meeting in the United Arab Emirates UAE involving Malaysian opposition to party leaders and government officials to carry out a political coup against Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his government. He stressed that GPS stance is to stabilize the Malaysian government to ensure competitiveness against neighbouring countries.
Saya pun si tahu juga. Kelak di sini kah, di Monaco kah? Monaco pun move kah? London pun move kah? Tak ada move saya ada kerja lain. Tapi kita Sarawak, kita konsentrate saja, kita fokus. Berkat kita fokus, ekonomi kita kuat, pendapatan kita bertambah. This one I can give you a hint. 2024 is also a good year for Sarawak. InsyaAllah. InsyaAllah. Dalam masa bulan 1, bulan 2, dengar je kita.
Previously, local media reported on the Dubai move, alleging a plot to topple Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and the unity government orchestrated by Perikatan national leaders during their holiday in the United Arab Emirates. The alleged offer include the position of Prime Minister to Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu PBB leaders and greater autonomy, along with 20% oil revenue royalties to Sarawak.
Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu PBB will present recommendations to the Election Commission EC regarding a possible redelineation exercise of Sarawak's electoral boundaries. Its president, Dato' Paninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, said the party has a special committee responsible for overseeing redelineation issues.
Bagi pihak kami dari PBB, memang kita ada jawatan kuasa untuk melihat persepadan. Jadi masih lagi understudy.
Earlier today, EC Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh, in a statement, said the Commission was considering and evaluating the suitability of conducting a redelineation exercise for Sarawak. Abdul Ghani said a redelineation exercise would only be carried out after the expiration of the 8-year interval period from the date of completion of the previous exercise, or when there are amendments to the composition of members of the Dewan Rakyat or state legislative assemblies. He disclosed that the last redelineation exercise for the states of Malaya was completed in 2018, while for Sarawak and Sabah, it was done in 2015 and 2017, respectively. Abdul Ghani said that any redelineation proposal would only commence upon notification to the Dewan Rakyat Speaker and the Prime Minister by the EC and a notice published as provided under Part 2, Section 4, 13th Schedule of the Federal Constitution.
The Election Commission is deliberating and examining the feasibility of conducting a review of the electoral boundaries for Sarawak. However, Election Commission Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh said the process will not involve the states of Peninsular Malaysia and Sabah following the current effective period.
A review of the existing electoral constituency boundaries can only be carried out after the expiration of the 8-year effective period from the completion date of the previous review, or when there are amendments to the composition of the members of the Dewan Rakyat or state legislative assemblies. Abdul Ghani said that any proposal for a review of the constituency boundaries will only commence upon notification to the Speaker of the Dewan Rakyat and the Prime Minister by the Election Commission, as well as the publication of a notice as provided under Part 2, Section 4, Schedule 13 of the Federal Constitution. He mentioned that the Election Commission, under Article 113 of the Federal Constitution, is periodically responsible for reviewing the electoral boundaries of the federal and state elections based on the principles and procedures stipulated in the Federal Constitution. The Sarawak State Legislative Assembly approved the current electoral boundaries in 2015.
The year 2023 has come and gone, and this new year 2024 promises new challenges and dreams. TVS interviewed several residents of Bintulu to find out their wishes and resolutions in facing the year 2024.
Azam dan harapan tahun baru, semoga apa yang dicita dalam bisnes kah apakah semua berjaya, lebih maju lagi lah berkaitan dengan kami para usahawan supaya lebih dibuka peluang yang lebih luas lagi, bukan setakat di Bintulu saja, mungkin di luar dari Bintulu.
Harapan tahun baru tu harap lebih maju lagi lah dalam bisnes lagi. Lebih maju lagi lah, lebih maju, ekonomi rakyat lebih terjamin lagi lah di masa akan datang. Kos hidup kami orang tu lebih terjamin lagi lah. Macam kami orang peniaga tu, bukan ada pendapatan bulanan. Ada turun peniaga, ada lah oleh orang kalau sedah. Kami haraplah kementerian berilah peluang penjajah-penjajah kecil macam orang tu untuk dapat menambah pendapatan kami orang lah.
Okey, harapan tahun baru semoga memudahkan rezeki lah. mengubahkan azam baru tu. Dari ekonomi tu mungkin majukan ekonomi lah. Semoga berjaya.
Azam saya tahun baru ni saya nak belajar bagus-bagus, banggakan mak. Lepas tu saya banggakan family saya semua. Dengan tu saya selalu tolong mak saya buat makanan, buat kek, semua saya tolong.
Coming up right after the break, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim will be launching the Central Database Hub PADU on Tuesday. And Little India raid in Brickfields, Kuala Lumpur nets 100+ foreign teens. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. The 6-day Palestine Solidarity Picket near the United States-US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur concluded peacefully on New Year's Eve. Despite police taking statements from the organizer or investigation under the Peaceful Assembly Act 2012, the event proceeded smoothly. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato' Alawiddin Abdul Majid said once investigation papers are completed with the statements.
He said once the statements are taken, it will be handed over to the deputy prosecutor for further action. Activities included speeches, music, and displays highlighting Israel's oppression of Palestinians. Over 200 attendees, including notable figures like former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, Minister of Agriculture and Food Securities Dato' Sri Muhammad Sabu, Minister of Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad, and social activist Tian Chua. Ministers emphasized Malaysia's commitment to advocating for Palestinian rights, with more than 21,822 Palestinians reported killed by the Israel Defense Force as of December 31st. Mohammed, in his speech, said he believes that despite this suffering faced by Palestinians, humanity and unity are essential pillars to achieve peace. Nik Nazmi, on the other hand, said that the government's continuous efforts to voice the rights and issues of oppression against the Palestinian people in Gaza have gained the attention of the global community. In line with what the Prime Minister has stated, Malaysia will not remain silent as long as the rights of the Palestinians are not respected. A total of 48 non-governmental organizations, NGOs, took part in the peaceful protests from various walks of life, including Viva Palestina Malaysia, Yayasan Al-Quds Malaysia, Suara Rakyat Malaysia, and Malaysian Women's Coalition for Al-Quds and Palestine.
The success of Visit Malaysia 2026 hinge on a strategic alliance between ministries, state governments, industry stakeholders and public support over the next 3 years. Emphasizing the importance of efficient preparations, Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture Dato Sri Tiong King Sing calls for immediate action to activate the VM 2026 campaign. This proactive approach aims to optimize its economic impact and solidify Malaysia's position as a premier global tourism destination.
King Singh said his ministry expects 35.6 million foreign tourists from VM 2026, with an estimated domestic spending of 147.1 billion ringgit.
Mungkin ada yang tidak sedar bahawa industri pelancongan juga antara mengembang terbesar kepada ekonomi negara termasuklah negeri. Malah lebih membimbangkan apabila tarikan pelancongan domestik turut berkelat bertahan sehingga dilihat tidak mempunyai daya saing berbanding dan negara jiran.
He was speaking at the launch of the Visit Malacca Year TMM 2024 and the New Year 2024 celebration at Pangkalan Rama, Malacca on Sunday. Tiong also said that the Ministry of Tourism welcomes the initiative of the Malacca State Government in organizing TMM 2024 by organizing more than 70 events to welcome tourists. He further said that the collaboration between his ministry and the Malacca State Government in organizing internationally renowned events such as World Tourism Day and World Tourism Conference 2025, scheduled for September 27 to 29, 2025, is deemed to have a positive impact on the country.
Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim is expected to launch the Central Database Hub PADU tomorrow, January 2nd. A posting by the Ministry of Economy stated that the launching ceremony will take place at the Putrajaya International Convention Centre, PICC, and will commence at 8:30 a.m. Chief Statistician Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzir Mahidin is expected to conduct a presentation on the subject and moderate a forum entitled Spearheading Transition Through PADU.
As an overview, PADU's main objective is to establish a safe, comprehensive, and real-time database for individuals and households that could enable accurate analytics to be conducted. This includes precise policy drafting and implementation that is essential to balance the fiscal position of the economy and the livelihood of the people. Data will be collected through the integration of administrative data from various sources, while some must be updated by the individuals themselves. It is mandatory for those who are 18 years old and above to revise and verify their data on PADU's portal, including 39 crucial data.
The Immigration Department carried out an enforcement operation around Jalan Tambi Abdullah brickfields, leading to the apprehension of more than 100 foreigners on charges related to immigration violations. Immigration Deputy Director General Operations Jafri Mbok Taha mentioned that a total of 370 individuals, including 35 women, were inspected in the region, which consisted of Indian nationals, Bangladeshis, Filipinos, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, Myanmars, and Nepalese, ranging in age from 25 to 71.
A team of 224 officers and personnel from various agencies, led by the Immigration Department, conducted a raid on more than 30 premises in an operation that commenced at 1 p.m. on Monday. The targeted locations included residences, clothing stores, restaurants, hair salons, beauty supply shops, and convenience stores.
Dan kesemua tahanan ini akan ditempatkan di depo tahanan semenya ya. Selepas kita melakukan dokumentasi pemeriksaan selanjutnya di Putrajaya, yang kita tahan ini akan kita tempatkan di depo tahanan semenya ya untuk tindakan susulan. Okey, di antara kesalahannya yang kita kena pasti pada petang ni ialah tiada dokumen pengenalan diri ya. melanggar syarat PAS yang telah kita keluarkan oleh JIM, tinggal lebih masa overstay dan pemegang kad yang tidak diiktiraf, mana yang diragui, dan lain-lain kesalahan yang melanggar Akta Imigresen.
Jafri Umbo stated that the individuals in custody will be transported to the Semenye Immigration Detention Depot for further investigation under Section 6(1)(c) of the Immigration Act 1959-63, as well as the Immigration Regulations 1963 and the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act (ATIPSOM) 2007. He highlighted that the enforcement operation was initiated in response to public complaints regarding the increasing presence of foreign residents in the area.
Moving on to international affairs, Israel has declared that its military campaign against Hamas persists. Its spokesperson, Daniel Hagari, announced that a portion of the 300,000 army reservists will be granted a respite from the ongoing conflict to ready themselves for the anticipated extended battle.
Hagari also stated that the military needs to strategize, recognizing the need for additional assignments and engagements throughout the upcoming year. Continuous airstrikes by the regime over the weekend have led to the loss of 24 lives in Gaza. And at the same time, the Palestinian militant group launched a rocket barrage, terming it a response to the massacres of civilians, precisely at the stroke of midnight to herald the start of the new year. Locals and journalists observed the missile defense systems intercepting rockets overhead, with some Zionist revelers seeking shelter while others nonchalantly continued the New Year party.
President Vladimir Putin stressed that Moscow will amp up strikes on military targets in Ukraine after an unprecedented attack over the weekend on the Russian city of Belgorod. The attack killed 24 people and left over 100 wounded in Belgorod on Saturday. It came after Moscow launched a large-scale attack on Ukrainian cities.
During a visit to a military hospital, Putin said Russia will retaliate and that no crimes against civilians will rest unpunished. He added Russia will press on with hitting what he called military installations. He spoke as Ukraine said Russia had hit it with a record number of drones on New Year's Day. Putin called the Belgorod hit a terrorist attack and accused Ukrainian forces of targeting right in the city center, where people were walking before New Year's Eve. He reiterated claims that Ukraine is being used by the West to settle its problems with Russia. The Russian leader said he believed the strategic initiative in the dragging conflict was on the Russian side.
Sri Lanka has imposed a new 18% value-added tax VAT on fuel, mobile phones and computers starting Monday, aiming to generate essential revenue in preparation for a foreign debt restructuring. In his New Year message, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted the significance of preserving this challenging path, emphasizing the necessity to achieve economic stability despite its lack of embellishments and the presence of formidable challenges.
Other than that, the government also increased the existing 15% value-added tax, VAT, on various consumer goods to 18%, as part of efforts to bolster its financial stability during the recovery phase. Previously, the economic crisis fueled months of civil unrest, resulting in the resignation of then-President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in July 2022, as protesters stormed his residence. Under Wickremesinghe's leadership, taxes were increased, government subsidies were cut, and a crackdown on anti-government protests was enforced to fulfill the conditions of an International Monetary Fund bailout. The IMF rescue program mandates the Sri Lankan president to complete the restructuring of the island country's $46 billion external debt by May, following a government default in 2022.
Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.